Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Asian Cards podcast slash YouTube. Today we have Ray. Ray is one of the main buyers at Burbank Sports Cards. For those of you who don't know, Burbank is one of the largest, if not the largest, digital storefronts card shops in America, and they're located in LA. How's it going, Ray?
How's it going, Raymond and Brian? Everything's
good.
well?
I'm doing good. I didn't even realize you were one of the head main buyers. I was actually trying to look for you when I first stopped by Burbank, but it was on a Sunday, and I forgot who was working there, but they crushed my dreams. They're like, yeah, there's no buyers at all. I was like, oh man.
So lots of people actually don't know. Every Sunday is like our only day off where we don't buy at all.
Man, you're telling me a little too late though. I'm just kidding. No,
yeah,
that's
so
cool.
We actually use, like, we're not even open on Sundays before, but like there's really like it's rare like card shops that are open on Sundays, so we just decided to open, just to do retail,
Right.
for the people, if they want to buy, some supplies, and they want to buy, anything like supplies and certain cards they
Wax.
need, we'll take wax. There you go.
Right. But I guess you should probably introduce yourself a little bit. I know we were in the same vicinity in Burbank Trade Night when I was in SoCal, but I never got to really truly meet you. But I know you and Raymond have been doing some pretty cool deals. But yeah, man, just introduce yourself.
For sure.
I think you have a really cool story.
For sure. My name is Ray Calamag, and on IG Ray Cal. Lots of the card people I've dealt with and I've done lots of deals knows me as Ray Cal. I don't have a card account. I should have made it, but it's too late. But yeah, I'm the main buyer at Burbank, and I want to talk about day-to-day basis and kind of how it works. So first of all, I got my job because I've been dealing with Ryan for about two to 3 years. So he's seen me as I feel like he's seen my potential of just being like having the knowledge about certain sports, or all the sports, because it's tough if you're a buyer and if you only know about basketball or football or soccer, but
Right.
but it's great to have somebody to know everything, even even Pokemon, Formula One, just all kinds of things. Yeah.
Do you remember the first card you sold to him? When you said you known him for 3 years. Do you remember the first card that you did a transaction with?
I'm gonna be honest. The way it works for me about 2 to 3 years ago is I was buying base cards of like Zion,
Yeah.
Luca.
You're okay.
Trey,
Okay.
Buying it for like $20, $30 a piece. I'm gonna grade it myself, and when my subs comes in, I go straight to him, and it would cash me out 80% of what it sold for on eBay.
Damn. So you're in that movement where base prizm for Luca was like what, 2-3K?
It was 2K. I think the highest was about 2K. It was
Okay.
it was the best, and it's funny because I probably found out about this 4 or 5 months ago, and I was talking to another card guy, and it was like, oh, that's kind of like what Raymond Lee was doing. He was the guy that's saying that I'm buying all the Lucas and NBA Hotspot. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. But
Yeah, I
it's funny.
remember seeing you back in the day. You would post a lot of your PSA sub returns on the Facebook groups back when Hotspot was not the only place for basketball. And I think I remember you would have buying posts as well. And it's always
You guys were competing with each other?
exactly, yeah.
Competing
I
for
was
base
always
prisms?
thinking, yeah, trying to snipe stuff before he got it.
Everything was just
back in the day.
it's literally whatever you buy that same day, the next week you already make 20% off that, which is insane. It's
Exactly,
crazy.
yeah. It would come to you through the mail, and then you could buy whatever, and it would go up, right? And then you would
Exactly.
be in the green for something like that. But times are much different now. So how's your
Time is a little
strategy
tough.
changed? Times are a little tough. hopefully we've gotten tougher during those times as well. How has your strategy changed throughout the years? I certainly haven't been grading as many cards as before. I used to send hundreds every month, thousands every month.
Mm-hmm.
How has your strategy changed
So
throughout the years?
right now I don't really sub as much, but I still do have lots of cards in FPSA. Matter of fact, I just got like my grader just texted me who I sub with. I just got like about 40 cards, but it's probably all base, which is like not the stuff I want. But like it was $15 a card, so it works out. Yeah. Anyways, right now, same as you. I don't like I said, I try not to sub. It's not worth it. Like there's only certain cards you can submit for it to be worth it. Like you open an Optic hobby box, you pull a LaMelo base, Anthony Edwards base. Now it would be about $80, $90 to submit the card. A PSA 10 is about $150. It just doesn't make sense. Not like before it would work out because it's only $20 and a base PSA 10 probably would be like $500, but it's just not the same.
Right.
In terms of strategies, I feel like in this market right now, I really go for lower numbered stuff, especially golds, 1-of-1s, autos, and anything lower numbered. I feel like that's kind of like certain sets, certain inserts are still undervalued, and there's lots of improvement, and there's lots of there's lots of upside. There's upside on these lower numbered stuff, and that's kind of like my goal whenever I see anything that like a gold LeBron and it's only at a certain price, and this doesn't make sense. I have to buy it. That's just kind of
I just love how you talk about gold LeBron. Super ironic. The reason why it's funny is because literally before the podcast, apparently Ray sold Raymond a LeBron, and knowing Raymond, he probably sold it for a little bit more. But
yeah, what was the story behind that, Ray? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It was like 2021, right? It was exactly a year ago.
So so I sold Raymond a 2020 Prizm LeBron Gold that sold recently golden for $200K. We're not gonna say the price. So let's just say that I sold it for a lot less than that.
Okay, hold on. Wait. So when you look at Raymond now, do you look at him differently before you met him at Whole Foods?
No. Here's one lesson I've learned from. Here's the thing. Like I don't PC anybody. In specific in terms of cards. I like I'm in this industry business wise. So like when I sell anything, I don't look back. I don't look back and like, oh, you owe me lots of money. Like, I don't care. I don't care about that stuff.
No, real talk.
Me is like I make my 20-30%. I'm happy. That's just how I move on. Like, cause I've made maybe a few, like a couple, like, or 3 deals like that where a card went up. Like I'm happy that it went to the right person. Anyways, and but that's just me.
Well, let's talk about that though, because I think us three, I know Raymond personally, Ray, I'm getting to know you. I think that's a really good lesson how when we do deals, it's like we want to maximize deals, but it's not like you don't want to tax, I would say, and give people room on working it out, because like you want it to be a win-win situation.
Right. No, it was like that situation was a win. Like, I feel like it's a win for me because I pulled the card myself.
Right.
And I just, bought a box of Prizm Hobby and got lucky and got that card. And, here's the thing, like, I actually do research when I sell a card. And I'm trying to compare other Prizm Golds, from different years, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything on it, and so I've asked 4 or 5 guys, right? And they say like they say this like whatever Raymond offered me is crazy offer. Take that. But obviously, like I whatever they told me, I just kind of like built up and like make sure I make the right decision. And like I said, I did some research. There wasn't enough information on the card, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go follow these 5 guys, and I got to do it. I mean, I'm not in it for much, so I just had to sell the card.
I mean, that's more important though, like knowing your cost basis, like how much you're in it for.
Right.
I think that's way more important than like maximizing the value, because then you don't want to be known as a guy that maximizes the value, right? It's like, I feel like that's not really the best look per se, but that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like the story behind what actually happened that day was like I made like an Instagram post or like Facebook post on just showing like oh,
the infamous Asian card Facebook post.
The infamous Asian cards, like I'm buying ABC, gold out of 10, 1 of 1.
Looking to spend 100K today.
He messages me. I'm like, I distinctly remember I was like at the beach, freezing my butt off. I was like watching the sunset there, and I get this card. This message. I'm like, oh shit! Like someone pulled a LeBron gold prizm, and he's in LA, and I need to go right now. So we meet at Whole Foods at like 9 or 10 p.m. that night. This guy in like a green hoodie comes up, and he's like, we look at the card like under the sketchy like the outdoor light, and it's like can't really see anything on it. I'm like, okay, there's nothing hugely wrong with it. So like, okay, like we'll meet up the next day. So the next day we like meet up at a Chase, and we get the transaction done.
At a Whole Foods, right?
But yeah, to me it was like very, very, very quick. And yeah, so Ray, you'll forever be known as the Whole Foods guy.
I can guarantee you, if you didn't make that post, I don't think I would have ever sold you the card. So that's
so crazy, bro.
Because I pulled that card the same day. It was ready for PSA the next day. It wasn't. I don't think it was gonna gem, but I think like that card, like you just have to, walk in and get that card rated. So like that post you do, I know you still do it today, like very helpful, and I know you probably make lots of deals and get a lot of good deals to buy and trade. So that's amazing.
So it's cautious, but it gets the job done. So mission complete.
But Ray,
Brian?
No, I was gonna say, Ray. So going along, like I'm just so curious about you buying at Burbank, because I feel like that must be like a kind of like a dream job. You probably go through a lot of cool cards on a daily basis. What is the craziest thing so far this year? Or maybe if you have something in your mind ever, the craziest card that you got to buy that you could disclose as well.
So here's the thing. Usually when there's like a really big card, we're talking like 50K or up, I usually would have to consult my bosses about it, or like I would have to.
Makes sense.
Like I would have to like, I need your second opinion. If all 3 of us says yes, we'll buy it. But so far, like probably the biggest deal where I just like kind of like did it myself. It's probably like around like 20-30K card, but we've had way bigger deals than that, where like all 3 of us said yes, it works out. But nothing like super crazy. But anyways, okay. I'm gonna tell you which card. So a guy walked in with 3 Tom Brady rookies. So he came in with a Leaf, 2000 Leaf, BGS 9, a 2000 SP Authentic Brady. It's numbered BGS 9, and a Brady Contenders Auto BGS 9 10 Auto. Oh, wow. So all 3 of those, me and Ryan were able to come to an agreement. We'll pay this price, and all 3 of those from same person. We spent close to close to 6 figures.
Oh,
So
wow,
that's
those are some big
that's
cards, yeah.
that's probably like the biggest deal we've ever done, like throughout the whole like ever since I'm working there.
Have you ever been in a scenario where someone walks in with like something absolutely crazy, but they don't decide to sell, and you guys are just like blown away by it?
Well, we've had we've had a few guys that came at the shop and showcased and went live with my boss Rob. Like Ken Golden came to the shop a few months ago and showcased lots of high-end cards from the auction that specific month. Like there was lots of exquisite, from soccer to basketball and all these sports, like high-end cards. We also got I don't know if you know, pretty sure you guys know Mike 4.seconds.
Oh yeah, Mike, you.
He came in to do a video with Hannah, and showed his collection, which also I've seen, which is like just insane, like Kobe and just ridiculous high end stuff. Yeah. So like that's kind of like, I don't think like that kind of situation. Like, hope we bought some, but like obviously like just too high end and like it's kind of like his PC.
Yeah. He has some insane cards.
Right.
I actually first met him in the National at 2019. I made a post on Facebook, like in some random group. I was like, "Hey, is anyone at the National? Does anyone want to meet with me?" And he responds, and we meet. We just meet at the the Breakers booth where there's a bunch of tables sitting there. He's like, "Dude, why are all your cards like stuffed in like in your backpack? Like, do you not have a place to hold them?" And he just gives me like a bunch of cardboard boxes for free. So he'll forever be remembered as the guy who gave me my first cardboard box for holding cards. But yeah, Mike is awesome, man. He is some of the best cards I've ever seen. I mean, it's just one after the other. Cool. I guess in terms of like a day in the life of buyer at Burbank, what does that usually look like from the moment you step in to the moment that you leave the office?
So people probably don't realize how much we buy every day, but literally today I think I probably I bought at least 200 slabs, like from low end to it's a mix of low end to a little bit of high end.
Right.
It's so a lot. I feel like a lot of people are selling like low end slabs right now because a lot of them are getting their their subs like everybody else, and that's kind of like the usual trip everybody makes at Burbank now. Like, I just got the sub. Oh, let's sell it. Let's trade it. But yeah, and in terms of the amount of people who comes in, I would say at least 15 to 20, like people a day.
Are these mainly like regulars, or are they like new people that you've never seen before?
So it's a little bit of both. I would say it's more regular because I see like the regular faces like literally every day just buying and trading, but yeah, it's crazy. Like just to know that we buy about $100 to $150 slabs a day, just insane. It's crazy.
Oh, sorry, continue.
Why did I say that again?
What is your thought process on like pricing everything? I mean, like I see a stack of 200 slabs. I'm like, that's way too many. Like I don't even want to comp all of it. You comp everything?
100%. I just give up. Yeah.
Eyeball it.
So the crazy part of this is efficiency. Is that I like the certain cards I buy. I literally bought these cards like an hour ago, 30 minutes ago. I kind of already know what to price them, and I have like my I use the post-its as an indicator of like what to price it at, because literally every card kind of like has a certain percent. If we're talking like low end, like a job base, PSA 9, we're probably paying about 65 to 70% of whatever it's sold for. So if I wrote a number and that's what we paid for it, and we already know that we paid 65% or 70% for that specific card, I kind of already know what to price it. and it's also at the same time there's so many. We also get lots of duplicates. Like we probably have lots of like jaw-based PSA 9s or 10s. Lots of those kind of just falls into the same category for where like it's all gonna be same priced. We're just gonna look at the comp, then whatever it's at, put it at the same price. Maybe there's gonna be some certain instance where some cards are overpriced because we bought it a year ago and it's still there. We're just gonna like reprice it and put it at the same price, whatever it's worth now.
What color post-it do you want to see? Like if someone coming in, because you said you color code the post-it, right? The percentages.
Yeah.
So which post-it color do people want to see?
Wait. We don't use the.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay, I was like, okay, is it green that we want? Red?
No. Well, obviously, I just want to see the high-end stuff. Less than.
Yeah. The base gets a little tiring after a while. Right?
Yeah,
it's like the base always gets a pink slip. You're like, oh, you don't want that pink slip.
There's gonna be some there's gonna be some certain times where like I bought this card 5 times. I already know what I'm gonna pay, so I just I don't even comp it. That's how crazy it is.
How do you avoid the issue of like people coming in? You spend like the time pricing like 50 slabs, and it's like, oh, I don't want it. I don't want to sell anymore. Like,
yeah,
so
that's what I was gonna ask. That.
Like, because that happens a lot, right? Like,
it's the most awkward thing for me too. It's hard when I'm like looking at all the slabs and just saying no. So I can't imagine. Teach me, master.
So here's the trick for us on that. If we don't know if the guy's new and hasn't sold with us before, we're just gonna take 5-10 cards from him, and from the person, and we're gonna like show him like we're probably gonna take all kinds of stuff like from low end to high end, and he's gonna see, and we're gonna price each one of it, and he's gonna see what kind of percent we're looking at on each card, and if it doesn't work out, then we're gonna pass on the rest, because like we can't spend an hour and like not buy everything.
I see.
But if most of them works out, then we're gonna keep going.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
So lots of regulars already know that. So like if it's a regular, too easy. It's really gonna be easy. Like hit him at certain percent. Boom. That's it.
Gotcha. So you tease them a little bit, and then they like it, then you keep going. If not, then you just let it. You just say, "Hey, fam, like."
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. There's gonna be there is lots of people who's into the card for a lot and doesn't want to take the loss, or like, or there's gonna be some people who want to sell their card on eBay or try to sell it on Facebook and try to get full comp, but. Kind of like the way it works for us is like we save your time from doing all of that. That's why that's where we pay that percent.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of saves you the work from like having to go to the post office, stuff getting lost in the mail, right? You can just literally go to the store and get cash.
Right, like
for your card.
If it's a like $20,000 card, if you want to auction it and it goes for $20,000, you will probably get about, let's say 17, 18. But if we can offer you 15 right now, with not waiting for that auction end and like waiting for the auction house to send your check, I feel like lots of people would rather just take the 15. But obviously there's different kinds of people who are like, oh wait, I want 3,000 is. I don't mind waiting, to get way more. So.
Right. So wait.
Hey Ray, how does
go ahead, Raymond. I was going to ask.
How does auction credit work? How does what is it? Store credit work? Whenever I bought stuff from Burbank, I just pay using my credit card. But
so
like, how does that work?
The rule on store credit is whatever we offer you cash on the card, it's going to be 10% more usual. Mm-hmm. It's always going to be 10% more in store credit.
I see. Interesting.
Yep.
And store credit can be used to buy anything?
It can be anything, wax, supplies, and parts.
How do you guys keep track of store credit?
Uh, there's two things. We have customers that has a gift card because we do gift cards at Burbank, and we also have a spreadsheet for there's people that has credit, and there's people who actually owes us money, which is funny. So
Interesting.
that's
Kinda
something
funny.
that's something
You don't
we
be on
do.
that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
that's the spreadsheet you want to be off of. But how do you? So I guess I don't know if this is even an appropriate question to even ask, but like, what? I guess have you ever thought about doing this like yourself versus like Burbanks? Like, how does that work? Like, are you allowed to buy for yourself? Like, are you like allowed to be like, hey, right, like that card is for my PC, you know?
Right. So here's the thing. As a buyer, I have the advantage of like whatever we get from the shop, whatever we buy before it
Yeah.
goes out, I kind of like employees have the dibs. You know,
Oh,
like
I see.
we buy a certain card. If I want it, I'm most likely gonna get it as long as I have the money or have the right cards to trade for it. And there's gonna be some certain times where I can get it for a really good deal where I can make money, which is
Okay.
which is why I love working here. I love working at Burbank. So it's literally like there's no limit. I don't think there's any limit. As long as you have the money, you have the cards to trade, you're good.
Who buys your cards at Burbank? Who comps out your cards?
Ryan.
Okay, cool. All right.
Ryan. So
right,
I
that's
usually do the deals with them. It's for me, it's literally even before I was working there, it's literally the same thing,
It's the same thing. All right, that's dope.
Yep.
Do you guys do any like trading through the mail for your current inventory?
Trading through the mail like a middleman.
Not a middleman, but like do you guys? I guess do you guys sell cards through Instagram or
So
other
not
eBay?
not every time we prepare to do the trade in store, but I feel like lots of the trades that happen through IG would be like bigger deals. Like I know we've done lots of big trades with MC and and a few other guys that usually bigger deals. But if it's like not a big deal, like we usually would want the person to come at the shop.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it's easier to get stuff done in person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easier to communicate, easier to hand cards off.
It's like it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, I want to trade my base PSA 10. Can you my Zion PSA 10? Can you ship me a jaw like rookie or something? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like
a jaw hoops, right? You're paying $10 to ship the thing from the post office.
Also, one thing I know why we do mostly bigger deals on IG is because like there's gonna be some certain there's certain cards that are only for eBay or for Instagram. Like not many people will trade you 50-70 grand on the. We'll make a 50-70 grand deal at the in store.
Oh, so that doesn't happen that often.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it always happens online.
Interesting.
Unless you're like at a big show, national, right. Chicago, like.
Yeah. I think one thing that I'm personally curious about is like, what are some negotiation tips that you would suggest for someone, getting started in the hobby, or like kind of the biggest negotiation tip that you've learned so far?
I saw that question. I have a tip, but I don't think it's really a negotiation tip. But my tip would just, for me, is like not to rush things. Like if you're coming into this industry as business wise, I don't think you should like don't rush, and like you need to learn how to like this is a very like basic tip, but I don't think you
give
should,
it to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
but like this is a basic tip, but people, not a lot of people like gets it. But I don't think you should be, desperate on, on making that, like margin. I feel like lots of people like are so desperate on like buying certain things, like, oh, I'm gonna spend 20-30K on Steph Curry right now, and Steph Curry is kind of like at its peak, and where you could probably buy Steph Curry on off season, and that's where like the best buy is at. But I feel like lots of people do that. Like, they see
14 issue, right?
Yeah, like they see like I remember this was about 2 years ago. I remember Mbappe Prizm PSA 10 was about 2000.
Oh,
2025.
We're going back then, huh?
I know lots of people who, or I know like a lot of people who were like, I have to buy like at least one or two.
Damn,
and look where it's at now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably my best tip. Just don't get greedy, and just make sure like whatever play you make, you do your research.
100%. Facts.
Yep. Crazy to think that
$2,000.
just about a year ago.
Yep.
The silvers were at like what, 8 or 10K at one point.
Yeah, the silver's like 8
yeah,
or 10K
insane.
diamond numbered. Yeah, I mean that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But at the end of the show, like we always like to ask people on the podcast, what type of cards you like and everything like that. Do you have any like special cards that is that's close to you? I know on your Instagram, I'm like taking a look at it. Like it seems like you're a big sneakerhead.
Right.
Yeah, you can show sneakers too. It doesn't really matter. But what are some of your favorite cards?
So here's the thing, I don't really PC. Like I said,
I love
PC
that
anybody.
though. I love that you say you don't even PC. People hate that, you know that, right? But I feel like generally people are scared to say that.
The thing is, I want to be honest. I came in in that industry to make money. I'm in it to flip, and I have probably over 40 pairs of sneakers about 3 years ago, and I sold my whole collection just for parts. Like I switch up. I'm like, I saw how the potential in cards, and I told myself I have to sell everything and see where it goes. This is probably my biggest gamble, and obviously it worked out very well for me. I'm still doing cards right now. I love cards. I love sports. If you love cards, you have to love sports. And yeah, like, yeah, I don't PC anybody. I've had big cards, or like certain cards where I wanted to keep, but if somebody offers me, like, if I make that 20%, I have to sell it. That's me. But in terms of a card, there's like maybe one or two cards that I think I would have kept that I used to own. I used to own a Credentials Kobe. That's probably it's a 1996 Credentials Kobe. That's probably one of, like, I feel that it's still undervalued, knowing that that's like the only numbered Kobe rookie that you can get. And I got this card when Raymond posted to buy now, want to buy post.
I remember that. Yeah.
From and then one of the local guys, Stanley, posted it, and I just had to have it, and I bought it at like the lowest point, which is amazing.
One of the few times I can't never say buying at the lowest point, so it's usually the top.
Well, not really the lowest. Not really the lowest point, actually. I got it at the dip, because now there's like a good comp for it.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, so you like that part because it's actually just because it's undervalued. It's not even from like a PC perspective.
So when I look at a card, I have to look at it both ways. I have to look at it as an investor, where like it's undervalued, and I also have to look at it as a collector, where it's like appealing.
100%.
So lots of collectors is big on eye appeal. That's why PWCC has that eye appeal where once they put that eye appeal grade, the card goes for way more.
Right.
But I mean, which makes sense because there's lots of graded cards that are like appealing but has a really low grade, and like it just goes for more. Keep going.
Especially like for that Kobe card you're talking about, right? Like I think it's another aspect why I think it's such a cool card is like a lot of them are like miscut. They're either too small or they're slanted, right?
Exactly. Lots of them are trimmed.
Credentials. Yeah, they're like slanted or like they won't grade, like kind of like the Brady's Contenders card. To have one in the numerical grade, which I think yours was, right, is pretty big.
It was an 8.5.
8.5, yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on today, Ray.
For sure.
And as usual, you can find.
How long do you guys usually cut it? Because I have one thing I want to talk about. I just want you guys' opinion.
Oh yeah,
let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know there's lots of bad news about the hobby where like people got scammed or
I don't know what you're talking
about. Where people got scammed and like that Logan Paul thing, just lots of like unnecessary things that shouldn't have happened. But I have a story about I did a deal with he's a big MJ collector, craziest MJ, one of the craziest Jordan collection I've ever seen. Exquisites from inserts, patch autos, just stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I did a very big deal with him, and I just want you guys' opinion on what happened. Anyways, did a big deal with him. It's about a 50K deal.
Yeah.
One of the cards that he traded me has a flaw. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with 90s inserts. So when I did this deal, it's I don't know much about like 90s inserts. Like I know like the basic stuff, but this is kind of like a high-end MJ insert. So it's the Jordan Hoops Bams.
Yeah.
And it's number 2. I think. Yeah, it's like number 2. So there's a gold and there's a regular one. I think that's number 250.
Oh,
anyways,
yeah, 250.
So the card was raw, and basically this guy I'm talking about, he's a big Jordan collector, and he's been to the shop many times, and where I asked him a few questions here and there, and he asked me a few questions here and there as well. And so like I like trust this guy because I've seen what he got. Anyways, like I have a card that he likes, and like he really wanted to make a deal, so like let's make this deal happen. And then we closed the deal, but one of the cards, that insert, has a flaw, and I found out about the flaw. Shout out to Coleman Cards. He looked at the card the next day after our deal, and it's missing a hollow foil. So so the card is if it's raw, it's roughly about 12 to 15K card. Yeah. And I was planning on grading it. So but I was like kind of just got caught up in the moment, and I messed up in a way where I didn't do as much as research that I should have caught the low. It's missing a foil, which is a big part of the card. So Coleman told me the card could be fake or it could be misprinted. So I asked lots of 90s guys, lots of big 90s guys collectors, and they said that it's the card's real, but knowing that the card doesn't have foil, the card is worth way less. So I got the card at about 14 to 15K value.
Right.
And when they told me that the card is worth probably 8 to 9 right now. So like which is big because like I just lost like $6,000, right? And but yeah, so I got the card graded, and it got a BGS 8, and it says that it's missing hollow foil, and like this happened probably 2 to 3 months ago. But anyways, so the guy did not disclose the foil. Like he didn't tell me about the foil at all. And that same time where we did the deal, he did not let me send anybody a picture of the card, which is like something he does a lot. But also at the same time,
weird.
Which also at the same time kind of sus. Basically, I just kind of trusted the guy because, like I said, this guy, I talked to him a lot. He has a insane Jordan collection. So like I don't think he would kind of like not disclose anything big because that would affect because if he did, like I wouldn't have lost, or I wouldn't have like a gun for that card.
Right.
Anyways, the card rated an 8, and I talked to him. I told him like, can you like trade me a card that's worth about the same value? And he was like, that's your fault. You messed up. You should have done your research.
Shit.
And like I can't do anything about it. And like basically I just want to know your opinion. Like I think part of me, like I will like claim that part of me is my fault. But if you're a Jordan collector and you know yourself there's something wrong with the card, wouldn't you have like disclosed that information? Because I talked to Dennis, too legit to quit, talked to Miguel, Doman, and a few other 90s guys. Like basically they're telling me to call out this guy because this guy is a big collector.
That's a tough spot.
I never called him out because, like I said, let's just move on. I don't want any drama. But here I am. I'm asking you guys' opinion. Like what do you guys think?
Raymond, you should tackle this. I have my opinions too, but I think Raymond is a little bit more logical than me.
Yeah, I think like what he did was definitely wrong. Like I think if I were in his position, I would have disclosed. And like for a few reasons, right? Like first, like the card is very different from like what you're quoting it as, and second, like it's gonna come bite you later, right? Eventually, someone is gonna find out. You'd rather just let someone know it right off the bat, to like kind of avoid all this headache.
Sorry to interrupt too, but like you don't want to. I'll just piggyback on that second reason. You don't want to ruin a relationship off of $6,000. You know what I'm saying? Like just think about how stupid that sounds.
No,
like.
Here's the thing. Like I agree with you. And like this guy, like I said, when I talk about like his Jordan collection, he probably has $1 million collection. So I thought like 6K would be nothing to him. But this guy is like
still, I mean,
it's just like he was blaming me for everything. Actually,
it's probably
so like that's like the worst part. Like you messed up. Like this is your fault. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like from if I had the Jordan, I would say like I would disclose it just because I don't want to ruin a deal just because of because of $6K. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to do more deals with you later on. Even if like the valuation, my net worth collection is like $1 million, right? I mean that's my opinion, but yeah, but keep on
exactly.
But yeah, it's just selfishly, you're causing a lot more problems down the road, right? Like word spreads. You're not only eroding your relationship with you, but like other people who care about it, right? I think like on the same end though, right? Like I don't think that what he did was like scamming. Like it was definitely like bad business practice. Yeah. Right? But like I don't think anyone got scammed here. Right? I'm just like putting it in that not specifically scam, but like I feel like this story is like is also everybody who's listening is to kind of like be careful in who you're dealing with, because like I think I based off my decision because of trust, because like I said, this guy has lots of crazy
crazy collection. So like I never thought he would do that. So like, you know, just a tip in the future. Like it doesn't matter who you're dealing with, you trust it or not. You know, like I said, always do your research, and you know, just gotta be careful.
I say call him out. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
The thing is like Miguel is like I don't know if you guys know Miguel. Do you know Miguel Raymond?
Doman?
Yeah.
I've seen him on Instagram before, but I don't personally know him.
So the guy who traded me the card and Miguel knows each other, and Miguel just told me that I would actually, after that incident with you, I would never deal with him, and I actually know that the card that you got, he's been trying to move it for a while, so it's kind of like, damn.
Yeah, he was kind of waiting for the right opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get someone who would buy it.
Yeah, but I'm glad you shared it with us, though. I'm glad you shared it because it's a really good story about, like, yes, there's trust, but also you always have your own research. Like,
exactly.
Always.
It's because I shared the story because I read something about. I'm not trying to call out Millie Pops. You can cut this too. But anyways, I saw a story of another card collector where they posted about, you know, Millie Pops sold a kid a creased Vlad.
Yeah.
And that was kind of messed up. So that kind of reminded me of my story. And like I said, there's so many kids in this hobby, and there's still so many, even like, you know, like other older collectors or older people that
experience
enter the hobby. Like, you know, just like I said, be careful and make sure the card's good.
Well, Raymond, let me ask you this. I'm just curious how you handle this. Like when you deal with a kid, do you just treat them like as age don't matter, or like it's kind of like, okay, you know? Or like,
depends on the card, right? Like, it's funny, right? Like, you know, I remember the national trade night. There was like this one kid who like came up to me. He wanted, I think it was like a pretty high end Kobe. It was like one of those like Kobe Contenders autos in the PSA 10. This 10K card. And he comes up with this deal. I'm like, where'd you get this stuff? And like, you know, I like look all the way at the other end of the hotel lobby, and his dad is there like. I mean, if it's like a small card, like, you know, I honestly don't care. Like, I'll give a huge discount or even like give it away for free, right? But like, it depends on the scenario, right? Like, it's not.
Okay.
It depends, but like I would say, like on a day-to-day basis, like I don't really deal with, you know, too many kids.
Oh no. That's good to know. That's really good to know. I'm just curious because like Ray brought it up, and I'm like, you know, it's a very interesting topic. But yeah, I completely agree. I mean, for me, I just think it's bad business. I mean, for me, I wouldn't ever sell a kid like, you know, a messed up card without telling.
Like a crease card, right? Like it's.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so crease cards.
Like, yeah. In this case, like I don't think age really matters. Like,
yeah,
all pretty bad.
Yeah, but Ray, hey man, thank you so much for coming on. That's a really fun story time. We'll see what we'll have on this podcast, what we can keep in and keep out.
Sure. And then, you guys.
The stuff that is out, it'll be in our Patreon. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. No, maybe one day we'll have one. But no, Ray, thank you so much for coming on. Let us know, like, you know, where can they find you, or you want to disclose your Instagram, or, you know, I know everybody knows you're the buyer at Burbanks, but yeah, plug whatever you want to plug.
For sure. I'm just on IG, RayCal. That's kind of like where everybody knows me, or where everybody follows me, but that's it. Awesome, man. Yeah, well, cool. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll let you know how everything goes, man. But yeah, let us know how it goes with you too, because I'm very curious for that story. So for sure, I'm looking forward again, and I'll see you guys. And we'll meet for real next time. Not on a Sunday. Sure. I got it. All right. I'll see you guys. Take care.